Today's video is all going to be about striking your irons better. I'm going to share with you the #1 reason amateur golfers struggle to control their low point with their irons. This is all going to be focusing around the lead leg into impact. Make sure you check out this video. So today's video is all going to be about improving your quality of contact. Now you may not have ever thought about what the lead leg is doing into impact, but it's the #1 reason I see amateur golfers struggle to control their low point. What we want with an iron is that ball then turf strike. But for a lot of golfers, they're getting the wrong lead movement and they struggle to control what I would class as the low point of the golf swing that should be happening just after impact. And what they're struggling to get is this concept that the lead leg should be actually extending and rotating open. And what I often see is the golfer sliding their lower body too much towards the target. Now, if I slide too much and I get my upper body forwards, hands forwards, I'm going to take a huge divot way after the golf ball de-lofted a lot. So often what we see is when the lower body goes forwards, the upper body compensates and leans back, or because the lower body has slid too much laterally forwards, the arms tend to tuck in towards the body. And what we'll see with that, if this is you, if you look at it in from impact and you've still got a lot of flex there in that lead leg, this is what I want you to change. I want you to allow that lead leg to start to straighten. It has to hit this imaginary wall at the outside edge of the lead foot, and then it has to be extending upwards. So there absolutely is some lateral movement towards the target in the start of the downswing. But as we come into impact, that lead leg needs to start to straighten, to extend, and allow my hip to open. Now those two things work together. And the exercise I was just doing here, I put just a box that would hold 3 golf balls, so just, it could be anything, but it's the right sort of size for it. And I put it 18 inches, so 1.5 feet ahead of my golf ball. And I'm just using here a mid-iron, so I've got a 6. And I was obviously trying to hit the ball, miss the box of balls. And to do that, it helped me control my low point on my golf swing. So I felt like I was hitting down, taking my divot, but the club was rising again. And it's rising because this lead leg is starting to extend. Now I got an angle of attack on the way down by 2 degrees, 1.7 on the way down, which is brilliant for me because a fault of mine is I tend to hit down on it a little bit too much. This is a great sensation. And it's a strange one when you're asking golfers to do this because they think they've got to be swinging down and down and down to be able to hit down into the golf ball. And what I explain on a daily basis is that our lowest point of our hands or our handle is actually at the last parallel position before we strike the golf ball. It's at that point that my handle is actually moving up, even though the club is moving down. And it's only moving down because I'm allowing my angle to go in my wrist. I'm down cocking my wrist. But that doesn't mean I'm swinging down and down and down, which you can see there would keep that lead leg very flexed into impact. So I was trying to get the sensation of allowing this lead side to straighten. And this exercise, and we'll come back to it in a second, is a really good one. The other drill I would do is I would use an alignment stick, a tall stick, shoved into the ground. You might be able to push it through some range buckets if you're on the driving range. If you're off turf, nice and easy, just straight into the ground. And it's just going to run up the side of my lead leg. And this is effectively my wall. So I'm going to feel like I hit that wall, but then I move up it. I'm not charging through it. Let's quickly hit one and then come back a little bit more into explaining. But this was Jack Nicklaus's swing thought for a lot of years with his coach, Jack Grout, was hitting against a firm lead side or a left side for him. So you can see the cane running up my leg. I'm not going to worry if I bump it, but I'm going to feel like I move up it rather than, knocking it down effectively. okay? So you'll see through impact here, I am one tall straight line. I allowed that left side, my lead side, to start to extend through the golf ball. So I felt like I hit it, yes, but then I'm working up that line. I'm not charging through it. I often see this lead knee going past the outside edge of the lead foot, and that puts a tremendous amount of pressure onto my body as well. And we often see through impact, the body is still down, the head is down, the body is under rotated. From there, we end up having to use a lot of hands and arms to control the shot. So allowing that lead side to extend correctly is key to controlling strike and low point of golf club. As I said, Jack Nicklaus's swing thought for a lot of years against hitting against that firm lead side into impact. So he felt like there was that wall there. Let me do one more of those. So it's following up my lead leg. I'm going to feel like I bump it, but then I'm moving up it as I rotate. And what I've achieved there is 3 shots that have gone about the same distance at the right trajectory. I expect to carry my 6-iron about 175. I hit it about 180. So I've hit them on about the number, pretty good direction. Contact point felt good. My angle of attack for me, that one's a little bit more on the way down. But good swing path, really good efficiency, and efficiency at 1.34 means I am finding the center of the golf club. And if I can find that center of the golf club, I'm going to start to see some consistency of distance, trajectory, and everything else with it. And I was just getting the sensation there that I'm allowing this left leg to post, to straighten. So that as an exercise works great. I do love, if I go back to it very quickly, the exercise I started with, just using the, get the ball in the right place, just using the packet that holds the 3 golf balls, about 1.5 feet, so 18 inches or so in front. Could be anything, could just use a row of tee pegs or a rubber tee on the driving range. And we're trying to get that sensation that a club is moving more upwards, my handle is moving upwards. To allow that to happen, my lead leg has to move upwards, and it really helps me control my angle of attack. That last one was a little steeper than I wanted to be, at about 6 degrees on the way down. So let's see if I can get that lead leg extending more, that handle moving upwards. So up and inwards is what I want to try and get that feeling of, to really help my quality of contact, not down, 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 where I've still got a lot of flex in this lead leg. So that one there actually felt a little bit toe-y, but I hit the golf ball, I missed the little box. Hopefully I got a pretty decent angle of attack, even though it was towards the toe. You can see it clearly lost me some distance, a good 10 yards, but I think that was just down to the toe part. The angle of attack was 4.7 on the way down, so tour average is around 4 degrees. The slower you swing it, the less downwards you want to hit on the golf ball. I see a lot of golfers striking a lot more down than that, really de-lofting the golf club. Sometimes they'll compensate, and they're compensating with their body backing up or their arms tucking in towards their body. And again, they really struggle to control the low point of the golf club, where they're going to strike the golf ball from. So look at it on video. If you do see this position where the lead leg is still bent by the time you hit the ball, I want you to try and feel like we can get this, okay? The compression line should run from the lead shoulder, lead knee, lead instep. We don't want any part of our body breaking that line that you can clearly see my lead leg is doing. We want to try and feel like we hit that wall and we move up the wall as we rotate. My handle, as I mentioned there, is actually rising into impact, even though the club is still swinging down. And if you can get that concept, I know you're really going to start to improve the quality of contact and your low point control with your irons. If that video has helped, hit the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing at least 2 instructional videos a week. YouTube right now are going to suggest the next video you should watch from me, so make sure you click that one, it is just to my side.